In the last episode, we already learned about how to add information into the room database. In this video, I'm going to show you how to read information back from the room database. So the first step, you need to add the appropriate method into the data access object class. So open the data access object class. So now there is only one method. That method is for insert information into the database. Now here I am going to add another method for read information from the database. So here the return type is a list. It is a list of object. Object type is user. I name it as get users. So that is the method name. So here you need to specify an annotation called query. So in that annotation you have to specify the query. So select, start from, our table name is users. So we have to check our table name. Yes, our table name is users. So that is the query here. So this method will read all the users from the table, and the return type is a list. Okay, so now here I am going to add a fragment for read information from the database. So right click the application and create a new fragment. Read user fragment. So here the fragment is created. Now here I am going to add the needed user interface for this fragment. So here I add the needed user interface for the display the user information. Here I change the root element into a scroll view. Here I am going to display the user information using this text view with ID txt display info. Okay, so now I close all these files. Now open the home fragment. Now the corresponding layout file. So when user click this button view users, we have to display the newly created fragment called read user fragment. Okay, so go to the home fragment. Here we have one button. Now add the second button, bn read user. Now we can initialize that button. So bn read user equal to view dot find the view by id or dot id. I think this one bn view users, we can check it. This is the second button with id vn view users. Okay, so now register the click events, register the click listener for the button. So bn read user dot set on click listener into this. Okay, now here specify the second condition. It is bn read user view users. In that case we have to load the read user fragment. Okay, so now we can close this one. Okay, now we can open the read user fragment and corresponding layout. So we are going to display the user information on this text view with ID txt display info. So here create some variables for text view. I name it as txt info. So here create some variables for view, and from this method return that view object. So by using that view we can initialize the view component text view. So txt info equal to view dot find to view by id r dot id. We can check the id. Here it is txt display info. txt display info, this one. Okay, so now we can read information from the room database. So here the return value is a list. So create some variables for list user and name it as users. Now call the main activity dot myapp database, get the data access object, and call the method get users. Okay, now here create a variable string info, initialize with a null. Now here I start some for each loop. User, I name it as user into users. So now I'm going to display the information using the text view. So first we can fetch the information into int id into user dot get id. Now get the name, string name, user dot get name. Now get the email, user dot get email. Okay, so now we fetch all the information for a particular user. Now we can display that information to the text view. So just display using this string value info equal to info plus for each user we leave 2 lines. Now we can display the information id. First display the id. It is on this variable id. Now display the name in a new line. Now we can display name. Now we can display the email, that is also in a new line. Okay, so now the information available on this variable called info. And finally we can display that information on the text view. So txt info dot set the text into info. So now we can test it. So run the application, select the virtual device. So now the application available on this virtual device. So read the user. So now there is only one user available on the database. Here is the ID, name and email. Now we can try to add another user with the user ID 122. Specify the username. Now specify the email. Okay, now save the user. So now we add another user. Now we can view the users. So now we have 2 users available on the database. So this is how we read information from room database in Android.